Welcome to Gamle Aker Church, the oldest building in Oslo. The medieval city of Oslo, whose history goes back to the year 1000, experienced its heyday around the year 1300, when Håkon V Magnusson was first Duke and later King of Norway. He made Oslo the Norwegian capital in 1314. At that time, the city had an estimated 3,000 inhabitants, 10 churches, and 4 monasteries. Hallvard Cathedral was built in the early 12th century and was the main sanctuary and religious center in eastern Norway for 500 years. The client was Sigurd Jorsalfare. He traveled with 60 longships on a crusade to Jerusalem, Jorsal. When he returned home, he began building this second largest church in the country. Only the Nidaros Cathedral in Trondheim was larger. On the high altar stood the silver-plated shrine of St. Hallvard, with the remains of Hallvard Vebjørnson, born 1020, cousin of Olaf the Saint. St. Hallvard is still the patron saint of the city of Oslo. Gamle Aker Church, built of local limestone, faced a medieval street. As the church of the powerful and mighty peasants, it was built far from the city gates. Here you are literally walking in the footsteps of the medieval pilgrims. In 1186, the church was donated to the Nonneseter monastery in the Old Town, probably in exchange for the provision of a priest and spiritual staff in the church. The church is the oldest existing building in Oslo, built in the early 12th century on the model of Hallvard Cathedral. There were sister churches that were built at the same time or in quick succession. According to tradition, the church faces east with a view of the sunrise. As it is said in the old canon law, this is the origin of our laws, that we bow to the east and pray to the Holy Christ for a good year and peace. If you take a closer look at the base on the outside of the side chapel, you can see a snake biting its tail. This symbol for eternity refers to the Midgard serpent in Norse mythology, the serpent surrounding Midgard, the human world. The entrance itself doesn't reveal much about what kind of building it is. Gamle Aker is a 3-aisled basilica with a choir and side chapel. The style is Romanesque with its characteristic round arches and mighty columns that separate the nave from the aisles. Basilica means royal pillared hall and is the design that shaped public buildings in the Roman Empire. Under the first Christian emperor Constantine, at the beginning of the 3rd century, churches were officially allowed to be built as basilicas. With the Christianization of Norway, this architectural style also established itself here in the north. The Vikings built with wood. The art of building houses from hewn stone and lime mortar was unknown in pre-Christian Norway. In the 12th and 13th centuries, craftsmen from Central Europe and England developed a lively construction activity. The Gamle Aker Church was, apart from the cathedrals, one of the largest medieval churches in the country. The nave itself was only 3 feet shorter than Hallvard Cathedral down in town. In the course of history, the church was damaged several times by fires, especially in 1592 and 1702, when the original inventory was lost. 4 farmers bought the church in the 18th century, but they did not take care of its construction. In the middle of the 19th century, the municipality of Aker decided to demolish the church they owned because it was in a very poor condition. In addition, it was now too small due to the high level of immigration due to industrialization. This decision sparked protests and was fortunately withdrawn. In 1857, the church became part of Christiania, which was then Oslo. Gamle Aker has now been restored and maintained. Please, come in. As soon as you enter the church, you are surrounded by thick walls that protect you from the outside world. The church interior pulls us in and forward. In the Middle Ages, the windows were even smaller than they are today. 4 late 17th and early 18th century chandeliers hang from the ceiling. Bowl chandeliers invite you to light a candle. The light in the middle symbolizes Christ, the light of the world. You see the big candle of Christ, the baptismal candle, which is inaugurated on Easter morning. The pulpit with fantastic carvings in the style of Acanthus Baroque, created by Thomas Blix in 1715, rises slowly and gracefully in the room. And there, at the end of the central aisle, the altar rests, heavy and steady. The more the space narrows towards the altar, the more one feels the closeness of the massive walls. If you move into the side aisles, you lose sight of the altar and the pulpit. But at the same time, you discover the side altars, which rest more anonymously in the side aisle in the south and in the chapel of Mary in the north. The center of the church is the main altar at the end of the axis in the interior of the church. The beautiful stained glass window by Thorvald Maaseid with a victorious Christ looks at you kindly. A place of rest, belonging, hope, for many generations, for almost 900 years, accompanied by walls, hidden behind thick walls, supported by mighty columns. And here we come. Today, Gamle Aker Church is a parish church and a pilgrimage church. People come here and meet each other in the special moments of life, in joy and sadness, from cradle to grave, from baptism to funeral, in weekly church services, or in cultural events and concerts. Pilgrims who begin their journey today are sent out with the ancient Celtic travel blessing that has become common for modern pilgrims in Europe and that applies to all of us. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.